This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So before we get deep dive into the Datadog, let's understand the concept of observability. That is important. So you know that monitoring keyword, which was very popular from last many years, but observability is the right keyword now we are using in our industry. So monitoring is dead, and right now the trend which is going on for observability, long leap observability. So the question is, what is observability? So monitoring tells you whether a system is working or not, whereas observability let you ask why is not working. That means, some of the system, some of the applications, server is behaving odd or maybe reporting not per as our expectations, then you get the data through observability process. You get the data, sufficient data, why it's not working. But monitoring tell you whether it's working or not working. Simple. So observability means assembling all fragments from logs, monitoring tools, and organize them in such a way which gives actionable knowledge of the whole environment, thus creating an insight. So this is something like you are getting automated analytics about about your system and software. So here all fragments of log is being captured, all the monitoring tools, the whatever the matrices you gather, traces you gather and all, put it at one place and organize them in such a way so you can have a right insight about it. Now observability is a superset of monitoring. It provides not only high-level overviews of the system's health, but also highly granular insights into the implicit failure mode of the system. In addition, an observable system furnishes ample context about its inner working minded. Or if you set up observability, you'll get to know the context of inner working means inside the app server, inside the application, inside that server, what is happening, unlocking the ability to uncover deeper systematic issues. Monitoring, on the other hand, is best suited to report the overall health of the system and derive alerts. So look at this here. This is the pyramid where observability, which includes alerting, overview, debugging, profiling, dependencies analysis, and anticipating a future. But monitoring is only involved with the alerting and overview. So in observability, we combine the testing efforts also. So testing teams, they have lots of verification process, right? And they perform on their applications. So that effort we add it, and then all this monitoring which we are doing, and together we merge in a such a way so we can get the best simulation for failure modes in the software. So that is a something which we have. So monitoring system should address two questions: what's broken and why it's broken. But while observability covers a larger scope, monitoring is mainly used in terms of metrics monitoring. So in summary, observability is a property of a system and monitoring is an activity we perform on a system. Okay, so see, this is the hierarchy for observability. So if you see that, if you want the data from the past, okay, so that is basically tracing and logging, which you can diagnose. And then if you want data from the present, then you have a matrix which is available on dashboard. And from the data from tracing, logging and matrices, you create and generate a lot of analytics of stats and signals detected, and that's called protection. So here you are able to establish the end-to-end monitoring plus observability in past data, present data, and predictions. So what are the major difference which we have got? So observability gain understanding actively, where monitoring consume information passively. Here, observability asks a question based on hypothesis. Monitoring asks a question based on dashboard. Observability built to tame dynamic environment with changing complexity. Dynamic environment means Kubernetes, containers, and pod. But monitoring is built to maintain static environment with a little variations. Um, Observability preferred by developers of system with variability and unknown permutations, whereas monitoring chosen by developers of system with a little change and unknown permutations. So these are the primary differences which we have of observability and monitoring. So observability focus on the matrices, traces, and logs. Monitoring focuses on availability, performance, and capacity planning. So now the question is, we understand now we will need to work with observability. So monitoring is not anymore the work which we do. We basically set up observability. Now the question is, how do we set up? So once let's say tomorrow your project management wants to set up observability, then what are the things which you are going to do that? And for that, you need to gather the matrices. Okay, you need to gather the matrices of Linux, matrices of Windows, matrices of Apache, matrices of Tomcat, matrices of SpySQL. You need to gather the events also at a certain platform. You need to gather the logs also, logs of system or application or network, and traces also. Traces means the traffic which you generate on the website, that response you get it, and that request which travel through the n number of endpoints in your application or maybe out of it. So that is called traces. So this is we need to gather. So if you really want to set up observability, you need to gather these four data types of data at one. So yeah, here three pillars of observability, which includes matrices, traces, and logs. Always remember, if someone will ask you, hey, we need to set up a data. So what do you want to do? So we're going to tell like, okay, we are going to gather the matrices, we are going to gather the traces, we are going to gather the logs, but not putting at the different places at one place in a contextualized way. So we can understand the insight about the why there is a problem at all. So every information you get it at one place, and that is called observability. So all of you are understanding so far? Any questions, any doubts?
What would be the difference between log and event?
Events, basically what happens? Events, certain activity which happens on the system or application or Datadog side also. So event, something like user creation is one event, payment is one event. You know, log false, I mean, login with the wrong password is one event. So like that. So these are the events. So events is like happening based on the some of the major milestone, major transaction. It's a main transaction which is happening. So that's called event. But traces is like not like only main transaction. Maybe people are browsing the website, so request has gone, response has generated. It's like that. A matrix is from the system, logs of the application, logs of system logs. Are you understand?
Yes.
More questions, guys? Okay, so your goal is to set up observability. So as part of observability, you are going to set up a logging, monitoring, tracing, and visualizations. There are some more differences which we have, but I'm ignoring it because more or less at a high level, I believe you have understood this. Okay, so now this is a very good question. See, it looks very impressive, like when we talk about it, every sort of data you have at one place, and the place where you get the insight about it. Let's say there's a one failure in the system. Let's say there's a response time which was supposed to happen in, let's say, 1 second, but the response time is 4 seconds. Think about it. So I want to know that why this response, particular request response time is 4 seconds. So when I trace that, I got to know, okay, this response time is come from this system, this application, this web server, this app server, the logs of this server and this application is this place. Through this request, these are the endpoints it has touched, and we can trace and get to know what is the problem. So that's the beauty about it. It let you ask the questions actually. Okay, tell me where is the log? When you once you set up observability, where is the logs of system and application? Where is the matrices from the application and system? Where is the traces for all this function call, class call, endpoint call, and each of this call, how much response time it was generated. So all this thing, you'll get it at one place. But why this is very hard to set up? Most of the organizations are struggling to set up observability. Why? And the reason are, we are changing the platform all the time. So if you look at this, how we are evolving, so cloud, then hybrid, then containers. Now we are running containers, Kubernetes, OpenShift, and all. Architecture is also changing actually. So from monolithic, we become a service oriented, and then now we are getting into the microservices. Right? These are the microservices. You see that so many microservices, so many database, and all this stuff. So this is the, so when you make a call for one transactions, there's so many microservices are involved to offer you the, you know, visualize, I mean, offer you to get that response. So this is becoming a complex. Earlier, monitoring was very simple. Set up one agent at Linux or Windows level, gather the CPU and disk and stuff like that, and then keep monitoring and endpoint monitoring and all, keep monitoring whether CPU is more than this or disk is more than this. But now you have to do the setup for this microservices. So this is very complex, it's becoming very complex. So now the question is, what is the solution for it? So what is the solutions for it? So this is the good slide here. Do you want application availability, whether you want to know is it up or not, or application performance or reliability? So availability means is it up, performance means is it slow, and reliability means is it broken. So you want to know about the application, network, and server. So these are the software which we have, which is offering you the solution. So we have a Datadog, we have a New Relic, we have a Splunk, we have Elastic, you have App Dynamics, we have a Dynatrace, and we have a so many things, many tools which we have. Guys, you cannot hear me, all of you?
Yes,
Now
we
I
can.
can hear.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the software. So today we will learn Datadog, but in fact I'm going to teach you Splunk also. And if you are a part of SRE, almost all the tools you will be learning for this course. If you are a part of DevSecOps also or MD, you will learn many other tools also. Okay, so this is something which we have. So now let's go back to the Datadog. So let me start that here. So many slides, I'll just skip it because if I just cover the slides, then demo will be a problem. Won't get time. So only I'll show you the important one. So if someone asks you a question, why you need a database, Datadog? So simple, Datadog provide a functionality which we need. So you may say like, okay, fine, we need this certain functionality to set up observability, but other tools also offer. Then we'll say, when compare, which is easy to use, the other tools or Datadog. So Datadog is truly very easy to use manner. Okay, and if you build such kind of functionality with open source product yourself, it's very difficult to build and maintain. Why? Because your primary objective is to develop a software, release your own software rather than developing a monitoring solutions. So yeah, the functionality we have, very right agent we have, more than 500 integrations are available. Events, dashboard, intuitive dashboard we have, and very nice alerting mechanism. So these are the functionality which we need, which is easy to use and very hard to replicate. Okay, so I'll just ignore it. Yeah. So Datadog is everywhere as we discussed. So in a Datadog, we have mind it here. Datadog, we have Datadog is a SaaS based software. Mind it. Okay. Datadog is a SaaS based software. That means you don't have to set up any server as such. Like in Nagios, we set up a server, Nagios server, or maybe Elasticsearch also. If it is not a cloud, then we set up an Elasticsearch server or Splunk server, like that. AppDynamics also we set up a server. But here in Datadog, you don't have to set up a server. You don't have to. So everything is a SaaS based. That means datadoghq.com or something like that. You just connect to it, and you have agent installed in your infrastructure. So you can install the agent, which is written in Go, and the current version is 7.x. So yeah, this is something. So I'll put it in a simple visualizations to save a little bit of time. So anything which you want to monitor. So this is the Datadog website. Okay, and this is you, and this is your infrastructure. In your, this is Linux box, this is a Windows box, this is a one more Linux box, bigger one, and inside that there is Apache, Tomcat, MySQL, and so on. So here we install agent, here we install agent, here we install agent. All this information send that to the Datadog, system information, network information, application information, everything, and you connect to Datadog website. It's a SaaS-based software. You connect to the Datadog website and then explore the stuff, matrices, events, logs, create a dashboard. Are you understanding all of it?
Yes, they do not provide on-premise solution. It's cloud only.
Yes, that's correct. On-premise, you don't have it. Agent, you can have it in on-premise. Server, you can't have it. It's a SaaS-based software. That means there's only one Datadog which you have to use. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now I will not lose more time in the discussion because trust me, a lot of slides which we have, this is not add any values until you go for 5 days program in Datadog itself. So what to do? So I'll have a one notes for us. So how to get started? So this discussions will be more easier. So you want to set up observability. So for that, I forgot that what you need to gather, what data you need to gather. Tell me, all of you.
Logs and traces from the application.
So I just said no melt. So you need to develop gather matrices, correct now? And then you need to gather logs, and then you need to gather the traces, correct now?
Yes.
Melt. So matrices, how do we gather? We have agent for it. Logs, how do we gather? We have agent for it. And trace, how do we gather? We have agent for it. So all these things we will gather, and once we have all the system in place, then we will alert and dashboard, that is a and troubleshoot also if you want to issues. So these are the things which will set it up. So let's get started. So Datadog HQ, datadoghq.com, and you can get started. Let me log in, see if my license, they give you the 15 days license if I'm not wrong. And all of you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So here you see Datadog Pro trial has been expired. So because it's expired, I have to log out. Hmm, just give me 2 seconds. I have to log out, okay? And I'm going to create a new account actually. So how do you create a new account? Go back. Datadog. I was logged in actually. So here get started free. So here you have to select the data centers where you want to store your data. So go for the US one because that's a default data center. Else you have to modify it in places. So yeah. App4 at the rate of DevOps school.com. Rajesh company DevOps school and password. I'm registering new account. Okay, and sign. Yeah. So once you register, anyone can register. There's no problem. You may select what you want to monitor. So AWS, Docker. So still is loading. Just wait for it. Let me check the internet connections. Okay, so AWS, Docker, Kubernetes, all these things, blah blah blah. You select here. You select how many servers you want to monitor, and you want to give some goals and all next. So here you have to install the agent. Okay, so as part of this demo, I will show you that agent which is in Linux, and I'll show you one in Windows also. Okay, so this is the agent. So let me get my boxes. VMware virtual box. Now I need one boxes. So for that, I will delete this. And do we have more Datadog folders stuff? Because I'll keep cleaning up, I'll see pile up and use the storage. Yeah. So here also we have Datadog. And this is the template VM. I'm going to create new one. Clone. and Datadog. I think this month is September, right? So next, create. Okay, so now you have one VM ready. This is CentOS. Okay, and for the Windows, I will use the my host machine only, the laptop. So here and start. Root Rajesh 123. Yeah. So what is IP address? IP address for this is 2. So let me log into the T 192.168.1.2. Yes. Okay, so root and Rajesh 123. All of you can see that screen, right?
Yes.
Am I audible? Yeah. Okay, so this is Linux, guys, and here you see that a lot of entries we have. These are the different options which we have. So if you see that these are the agent you can install. These are the agent you can install. So here you have whatever snippet here. So these are the agent you can install. So here Windows agent you have Debian, we have Ubuntu. Look at these are the operating system. So this agent you can install. Mine is right now CentOS. So I'll go for this one. Now if you little go down, this agent you have in a container actually. So Docker I taught you, Kubernetes I taught you. OpenShift is a next level of Kubernetes. That means for enterprise management solution for the Kubernetes cluster. So that is also a thing. So this is the different agent you will have it at the container level. Okay. Now this solution which you see here, these solutions. So basically these are the configuration management tools. So one of the tools which I taught you is Ansible. So here agent, how can you install agent in the mass machines? You have hundreds and hundreds of server. So there must be script for that. So in Ansible, what we call it? Which is script? Which is script?
Playbook.
Playbook and roles, right? In Puppet we call it modules. In Chef we call it cookbooks. So like that. So how can you deploy agent in hundreds of machines? So this option you can use it. Yes, let's
One
go
question I
for,
have.
yeah,
Can you go back to the screen?
yeah.
Okay, now I thought the Amazon is the cloud. It's Amazon Linux. It's an
It's
image only.
operating, it's operating
Okay.
system. But Amazon also you can monitor. Okay. Amazon also you can monitor. That is coming under the integration part. So 500 integrations are, these are the platform. Okay. But what
Okay.
about integrations with Tomcat, Apache, MySQL, Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud? So all this information you can also get on Datadog. How? So all this information of Amazon you have at with one services. In, do you know what is the name of it?
Is it CloudWatch?
That's correct. So you can ask them all this information and store it at Datadog. It's a API call. If you give a permission, Datadog will fetch directly from the data watch, AWS watch, and get you at Datadog. So that is also possible. Okay, that's called cloud monitor. So yeah, we have so many options which we have right now. Click on this. Now I'm just directly copying and pasting the commands, but if you are doing it, have a little patience, read each and every lines and you will understand this. So this command is sufficient for installing the agent. So right now just copy and paste it. It has a key actually, which has been generated automatically by Datadog. So that's the reason I said no, Datadog is ease of usage and stuff like that. So one script and installing the agent is done. So agent is being installed. Now the question is, do we have any documentation also? So guys, a lot of documentations on Datadog you will find. So here you have to just type data dog, and here all this documentation you will find a lot of whatever you are seeing on the screen. So for example, uh, Datadog you want to install from the CentOS, right? Here is CentOS. This is the one. So here you see how to install Datadog agent in CentOS. You want Windows. I'm just giving you the clue, so you'll get it. See, Windows. You want to monitor Apache. Here you see. No, this one or this one. You want to Tomcat. You want to monitor MySQL. So MySQL. Okay. So search for that and you'll get it. All the instructions you have anyways with you. So just you need to use it. So right now I just need this one. I follow this step which I just showed you, and these are the commands which you have to practice. So why you should come to the documentation, because these commands you will find it easy to use it. So let it get it done, almost done. So let me check, almost done. Okay, so this is the Linux agent installation. For Windows, what you will do, you click on the Windows, where is that? Somewhere here. So steps are very simple actually. If you read this, there is one MSI file, you will get it like this. Okay, how to install MSI, I don't think so I have to teach you, correct? Right, all of you? Yeah, so they will prompt you that license key. This is the license key you have to give it, API license, API key, and a region Datadog you have to give, whichever the region, and done. Installation is done. Only these three. So in my Windows, what is there? I've already installed the Datadog. You see, Datadog Agent Manager is already there. Let me show you the services. And when you install the EMSI, you will get the services. Datadog. Here it is. So it's running already, in fact, by the way. But you know what? The only thing is the change has to happen at the this one, because the agent which is installed, it's older version. So how do you do the changes? So go to the C drive, and there's one directory called programs data. It's a hidden directory, by the way, okay? Mind it. And then here you have a Datadog website, a Datadog folder, and this all contains all the files. So in the Linux, see here, there's some issues. So there's some issues actually. I'll just enter it one more time. Okay. Okay, let it happen. So in Windows, this is the location for the configuration file for agent. I repeat, configuration file for agent. And in Linux, it's under etc one. Okay, so this is one. So what I need to do, because I installed this agent already, MSI, I just need to modify this file. This file is important. Datadog.yaml file is a configuration file which you have to modify. So let me do that. And here this key is older one. I'll just modify this. This is the site is correct one. And rest of the things you can study, enough sufficient notes are there given, and get started. So now after these changes, I'll do, you know what, start the Datadog agent. Okay, so Windows agent I have done it. Linux is should be fast, but it's taking time. Let's check it out. What is the problem? So here it says timeout on this URL. Let me see that Google is accessible or not. So Google is accessible. I don't see any problem. And the logs, just one more time. Usually I have not seen that error because it's a flawless. Maybe some of their links is having problem. So during the retrieving the key, probably they have a stop, but not a problem. Just click on this Windows machine I have added. So let me see. Yes, you see here one machine has come. Let me go and check that. See here, this is my machine desktop. So now it's reporting the data, but the only thing is Linux should be also coming. So let's wait for it. Yeah, so this time it happened successfully. This is the way you can stop. This is the way you can start. And I want to see the status. It's running. So remember that in Linux, the configuration file is inside this locations. And this file you should never forget. Okay. This is the configuration file for the agent. So all of you are good with it so far?
Yes.
Any questions, any doubts? So if I refresh now Datadog, I should have a two machine. One is Linux and Windows. So still that what do you say? Windows Linux has not come. It will just take few more seconds to get it. So now what to do? So now because you install agent, okay, install agent, Linux agent and Windows agent. So you get a matrices. Where is the matrices? So spend some time here. It's very easy to understand. And matrices you get in a Explorer here. Okay, Explorer, Matrix Explorer. So any matrices you have, any matrices you can explore here. See, matrices you can explore, events you can explore, process you can explore, incident you can explore, and these are the matrices. So this is the expertise. For example, let's say talk about the matrix CPU or CPU idle. So here and from last 10, 15 minutes because monitoring just now I have started. So see that, let's 5 minutes. Your graph will be much easier. See, so this is the CPU ideal, but overall entire infrastructure, you want to do that. So here is a Windows, okay, and this is the Windows, and let me see Linux. This is the Linux. I should have given a right name, host name, but that's okay. And see, this is the. So now explore this, understand that okay, utilization idle is 50%. So here you can explore that entire matrix which you choose store at Datadog. Are you understanding all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So now this is one thing which I did is this one. Now I need to do integrations also. You know guys, Datadog have more than 500 integrations. Integration means what? Integration means I want the data from Apache also. I want the data from Tomcat also, MySQL also, Postgres also, Docker also, Kubernetes also. So what to do? How do we generate the data from that? So one by one. So first thing, you know what? I want to show you the Linux one. Here under the infrastructure list, this is the Linux one. And click on it. And this all information you have to get comfortable with it. Okay. So host information about the host. Matrices, all the matrices which is being generated by Datadog agent. Here you have CPU. And if you feel like if you want to do a little bit reduce the reduce the timeline, so you can do that towards minimum. I think in this these are the matrices, CPU, memories, and little bit if you want a detailed one, click here. Okay, and look at the major perspective. This is the agent, localhost dot local domain, and here you have CPU, processes, okay, RAM, memory, load average. So all these matrices you have it here. You can check this out. Okay, so like that. Now, are we running any containers inside that? So it says no containers. Are which are the processes? So see here, it says agent is not reporting the process information. So we need to configure it. So what need to be done? So I need to tell agent, hey agent, collect the processes also. So in Windows, I have done it because it was older one. So here, if you go for Windows, see the processes is being monitored of my Windows. Okay, but for Linux, I have not done because Linux just now I set it up. So would the process remain same? What I need to do? Any time you want to configure, modify, customize the agent, which file you need to touch?
Datadog YAML.
Okay, so yeah, same thing. Guys, this file is pretty huge, okay? So I would suggest you have a little bit of peaceful mind and then start working on it. So where I am back there, okay. etc. Don't always take a backup, okay, whenever you are modifying this. So that way it will be easy. Don't spoil the stuff. So I will also lose the interest. If you see more errors at the initial stage only, then definitely you will lose the interest. So take a backup. That's the best strategy. So whenever you feel okay, I spoiled something, revert back and then restart. So yeah, this is the YAML file, and hell lot of things are there. Okay, hell lot of things. This is in a Datadog. This is your learning search. This is the only learning search, and then after that website. No server configuration, no backup, no restored process, and blah blah. So I'll just search for it. Process config. I know that, so I'm hitting directly, and you see here process collections configuration. By the way, this file is YAML file, so be careful actually, because this is a YAML file, and if you don't know the YAML file, uh, at the DevOps School channel, there is one tutorial I have uploaded for YAML. You can check this out also. So learn YAML, it will help you in many ways. So I'm uncommenting this, and here enable one two. Enabled, it should be true, correct? So I just enable this. Okay, now more descriptions if you have here and here, with a peace of mind, please read it, don't rush. I know that, so I am just showing you the areas, but you as a learners, each line read it and then modify. Okay, don't try to complete the thing, rather learn the things. Now after that I have to restart. Anytime you modify this, you have to restart. So Datadog agent restart. I think I forgot the command. System CTL restart Datadog hyphen agent. This is the command. But all the commands I have given in my logs also. Now you'll say, Rajesh, how can I remember this? So I just said any documentations you have here. So for example, if you go for Datadog and search for only process, don't add too many content for searching. This elastic search here. So here, how to enable live process monitoring, and here you have. So here you have a step-by-step information in, see all this thing, and Windows also, and also fly. Got it, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. One thing I missed it actually. Process collections. I missed it. So my bad also. I just now saw that. So process process collections. I did not. One, two. Yeah. So now I think it should be good now.
I think the indentation should also change for enable as well.
Labels, yeah. So here you see that if you look at this, my tag is here, there's no space actually. In the process collections, there's a 2 space, and enabled true is a 4 space. So that is also okay.
I think in your machine it was not four space. I think it was
Yeah,
like
here. So now can I go and check, cancel, refresh, Linux? So now it's not reporting, but I know it will take few seconds. So meanwhile, if you don't have a patience, so you can go for the command and find out. So I'll just show you the command, Datadog centers. And here, and a lot of commands are there. There's one command which is this one. So config check, config and all, you can run meanwhile and see that, get comfortable with it. So I'm just checking that process is enabled or not. So I can't locate it though. File handle. Let me check one more command and grab this because it's a huge process. And yes, I think it's enabled. Okay, so let's wait for a few more seconds and refresh. Yes, you got it. Understood, guys, all of you?
Yes.
So now
Just
process is
did you
also, yeah, tell me.
did you change anything in the YAML file before in giving a command configuration command?
No, these are the command to check the configurations.
Okay.
Whichever you did in the manually, right? Just
But
to
you
check the
didn't change anything in the YAML file, right?
I enable the process, no? Process.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now process monitoring also you are getting here. So what to do? Let's me show the process also is being monitored. These all are infrastructure monitoring we are doing. Okay. Yeah. Now containers. So guys, now I'll talk about some of the integrations. Okay, this will help you. Integration. So let me do that. So Datadog integrations. Guys, you have to decide what exactly you want to monitor through integration. Because if you look at this place, can you please read this? 500 built-in integrations. Look at this. You name it and you have it here. Okay, name it and you have it here. Anything you want to. Integration means what? So Datadog cannot provide every configuration enabled in agent. Why? Why they cannot provide? Because maybe someone wants Apache, but other people don't want Apache. Other people want Nginx. So if you enable by default everything, then CPU and RAM will be consumed, right? And unnecessarily it will fill the data also. And by the way, Datadog is a paid service. Okay, we are using the trial one for 15 days. Okay, so integrations, those which you need it, enable. So how to do that? That's the question. So this is a very conditional question, guys. You need to know the tools very well. For example, I'll show you as part of this session two integrations. One is Docker and one is Apache. Okay, but yeah, you need to understand Docker very well. You need to understand Apache very well, so you can integrate. Okay, so let's get started. So I'll go for this side and search for Datadog. Okay, so now this is the one how to enable Docker container monitoring in a Datadog. So here you have first of all install the process monitoring, which I did. Then install the Docker server. I think that is not there. Let me check. Docker is not there. So let me install it. I'll follow this method. So just wait for a few more seconds. It's in progress. Anyone have any questions?
So what we are trying to enable is the logging for the containers running in the machine, like the Linux machine or where we have installed the agent.
Yeah. So theoretically, this is a Datadog. Sorry, this is your server, and here you have an agent installed, and here also Datadog. Datadog manage the container. All of you understand. So what is we are trying to do? I'm installing the Docker and running the container. That's the one thing. And then I'll configure agent saying that, hey agent, ask the metrics from Datadog, Docker, and send back to Datadog. And then here you will log into Datadog and see the metrics. That is what you want. So that means all the information, all the matrices of Docker will get it from the Datadog. Make sense?
Okay, so the agent in the agent you have to enable the matrices for Docker.
Correct.
Come by default.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm installing first a Docker, getting a container, and after that I'll show you. It's taking a little time.
I have another question on this only. So, are we going to cover Kubernetes as well in this? How the monitoring will work with?
No, Kubernetes setup and integration is time consuming. It's up to 2 hours or something. But you have a recordings already available in LMS of I think 2 months before or something. Check it out.
So, just a quick question on that. Do we install agents in the nodes or do we install as a sidecar in the pods?
Okay. So understand this. Just a second, let me see the status. It's taking time. So let's discuss about it. So here we are not creating a sidecar. Sidecar concept should never come for the monitoring purpose, because if sidecar concept is coming in for the monitoring purpose, it's like a lots of overhead, overhead, right? So sorry. So it's a lots of overhead. So what exactly we are doing in the monitoring front? Just there's a 5 integration available. I'm talking about the one of which is the main one. Theoretically, all this information about the clustered API server, you have it at API server fetched from DTCT. Agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So what we will do, this is the Datadog, and Datadog will configure in a certain way. So Datadog will ask all this information to API server, because API server has every information. So you'll ask all information and store back to Datadog, and from here you can go and do the Datadog. So Kubernetes monitoring is like that. They mainly call API server. Got it?
Even for the application logs of the pods, like where we are running our application, would that also be possible?
So see,
No, right?
pods do not generate a logs. Okay, container generator logs. That's
Yes,
the
containers. I meant
yeah.
that, yeah.
So containers, what you can do, log monitoring I have not discussed right now. I'm just doing infra monitoring right now. Okay, so what you can do, let's say there's a container running, and this is inside the pod. Okay, so now what you can do, this container, you can do the in a many ways. So you have a agent, Datadog agent installed in the same machine, and logs will be writing somewhere with the volumes or something. Okay, you have to configure like that. So agent will take the logs from here and send to Datadog. I need to discuss log monitoring. I have not discussed it. So each you have to configure like that. Container information like top. Do you remember that kubectl top command?
Yes.
Yeah. So kubectl top command, all this CPU, RAM, network, and all APIs are only everything. So log you got it from the through the Datadog agent from the system. In matrices you got it from API server. And trace you get it from the APM, which I need to discuss. I'll show you that APM also.
Okay.
Okay, why is taking time today? Not sure. All of you can hear me well, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you can hear.
Yes, Rajesh, we can hear you.
So speed is good also because I'm at home today. So Any other questions, guys?
Are you trying to download the shell file, script file?
I'm trying. Okay, it's trying to run it also. Let me rerun. I don't have a patience. Otherwise, I'll do manually. So I use this one because it's become a very simple. But there's some problem, I guess. In Google is working. Yes, working. Not sure. Okay, let me manually install it. Okay. I got it. I was trying to download at the wrong location, maybe. Oh, come on. Mirror is down or what? Get it out, Docker. Not sure. So let me. There's a problem with the mirror itself. Yeah. So yeah, just wait for a few more seconds. And if it's not working, then we'll just explain what happened and move on to the next one. So why this mirror is down? So this is the internet CDN issues. Or what we can do is, let's do one thing. I can use some machines where Docker is already installed. So do I have that machine? So I should be having it. Let's use this machine. So this machine has a Kubernetes worker, so Docker must be there. So mirror issues.
What it means, Rajesh? Mirror issues. What it means, mirror issues?
Mirror issues means okay, now it's working. So mirror issues means all this software which is being served through the registries. Okay, basically that come through some of the CDNs, some certain locations. So if that location is not working, then you have a problems like that. But it should be resolved within a few. So it's not a permanent issue. But I don't have a patience for waiting for it. So that is the reason I'm using some of it.
So basically, they're load balancing the download requests. Actually, that's the mirror.
Yeah. So let's use the other machines where the Docker is already installed. Root Rajesh 123 IPA, and this IP address of this machine is 15. So let's log in, new session 192.168.1.15 and accept. Root Rajesh 123. Okay, so this machine is having Docker installed. Earlier I set up the Kubernetes cluster for this. Okay, so now after installing the Docker, you know what? How do we integrate? So guys, the steps are very different of all these 500 integrations. So I don't know the steps. So where to go and ask? So I will go and ask Datadog, hey Datadog, tell me what are the steps which you have. So this place you see integrations. So here you have integration marketplace in agent. So click on the integrations. Now, okay, the problem here is I can enable the integration, but agent I have installed here. Funny thing. Okay, I have to use this machine only. Okay, just a second, let me try manually. I completely forgot that. Like, I have to do this. Okay, so let me run this. Manually, I'm installing it. So every download is a problem here. See, fast mirroring. So they must be having some mirror issues. Probably this 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they should be resolved. Okay, so I'll just do one thing. I'll pause this Docker. I'll just skip it for some time. I'll come back and go for, okay, done. Let me try this command also done, and this command will install. So if this command is installed successfully, then everything is good. So this is the installation command. Okay, so now this is something which we have. Let me close this because anyways you don't need it. Agent is not installed, so I'll just stop it. Okay, so now there's one more integration which I discussed. See, try another mirror. So for India, whatever the mirrors is nearest, I think they have some technical issues. Okay, so let's discuss about the second integrations. Probably that I can show you faster. Apache. So let me show you the image for this. So MS Paint. So this is a Datadog. This is the Datadog. And this is the people here. Now this is my machines. And here you have a HTTPD Apache. And this is the agent. So technically, if you want all the matrices of Apache HTTPD, then agent should get it. But the question is, if agent can he ask the HTTPD directly? No, they cannot ask. What is happening? Apache is been designed, architect in a certain way, so all the matrices will be get exposed at a certain port number endpoint. And so Apache will publish all the information at the certain endpoints, and agent will go and collect from all the data from here and then send to Datadog. Okay, did you understand, all of you?
Yes.
So guys, so here you have agent and here you have HTTPD. So agent cannot ask directly HTTPD. Why? Because Apache HTTP is not designed for publishing that information to the agent. So what to do here? So Apache HTTPD is designed to publish all the matrices at certain endpoint. Endpoint means some port number and all. And agent will pick it up from that endpoint and send to Datadog, and from there you can get it. So what I'm trying to tell you here, the methods will be different for each tools actually. I repeat, for each integration that you do, methods will be different. So you should know that method. For example, this method, the one which I explained it to you, I have documented also, so you can learn faster. Datadog Apache. Okay. And here you see how to enable Apache. This is a Tomcat, by the way. How to install and configure Datadog integration with Apache HTTPD. So now, as part of this, these are the matrices you get it. Step number 1, install agent. You did it. Step number 2, install server, HTTP server. I'll do it. Step number 3, you have to go and in this part integration and enable this here. I'll do that in front of you. And these are the configuration required, and these are the configurations. So this step, enable the mod status is basically doing this Apache to exposing the matrices at certain end. This, and after that you have to enable the agent, which I'll show you, and finally this is done. Install integration, and finally installed, and then you can verify the Apache data. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say, tools knowledge is important for all this stuff. So right now this Docker is being installed, okay, and you see that everywhere is a mirror issues. So maybe it will take some time. I'm not going to wait for it, and I'll explain you after 10 minutes if it is coming well. So I'm installing the Apache. Yum install HTTPD. This is a command to install all these commands you have here only. Here, see, okay. So My God, Apache is also having problem. Okay, so what I will do, just a second. NMTUI, can I use the, you know what I'm doing? I'm trying to use the DNS entry. Uh, so just a second. What I'll do, and this is troubleshooting. I'm believing all mirrors are failing. Maybe that the DNS domain name server, if I change it to Google, probably it might work. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So for that, DNS server. What is the Google DNS server? 8.8.8.8. Correct, no?
Correct.
Yeah. And second one, backup one, 8.8.4.4. Let's see that if it's working super. Okay. Okay. Deactivate. NMDY and activate, and here duplicate root Rajesh 123. There's no problem in the internet because I can ping Google very well. So let me see that. Probably it might fix that issues. I'm just guessing, because if the Airtel or some maybe I can't know that issues where exactly. It required time to try, but I changed the DNS server and I'm installing the CE now. Let's see if it's working. Then probably we saved some time. So this command should work, because this command is, if it's not working, my Apache also will not get installed. None of the tools getting installed. So let me see that. I'll pause for this because we stuck with the infra issues.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So installation is almost gone. Okay, so installation has been completed. Now, what we need to do? So we need to go to the Docker here. Look at my screen, guys. Click on the integrations here. Now here I need to search for Docker. You see more than 500 integrations are available. So here you have to search for Docker and then install. Configurations. Okay, so here you have, make sure the Docker is installed. So this is done. Now this command you have to run it in the server. So agent can get all the knowledge from the Docker, and this information you have to modify. Where is this? So let me tell you here in a simple and straightforward way. Any integrations you do, that folder structure is conf.d, configuration.d. Okay, so any integrations you do, folder structure is this one. Okay, so conf.d is this one. So now here, this is the locations. So go to the docker.d, and here this is conf here. So you have to uncomment this, so it will be activated, and vi conf.yaml, and here init instances is here, and so I need to copy this one. And URL. So here hyphen URL, and this is the one, and this is the tag here. So this is the stuff. So here Docker, new tag names and true. So and then restart the agent. So systemctl restart Datadog -agent. And done. So after that, this is done. Click on bottom side. There is installations. Let me check if this is URL is there. Install integrations. Oh, done. So now can I check the and what I will do? I'll run some containers also. Docker run -itd Ubuntu. So here Docker is not running, right? I have to start the services. So and finally Docker run -itd Docker Ubuntu. Sorry. Ubuntu. This is done. One container. Second container, third container. Now let's check it out. The integration has successfully done or not. So refresh this page. So here you should see Docker installed, and see here installed. Second thing you should see that all the matrices you have of Docker is coming or not. So right now it's not coming, just wait for some more time. Infrastructure, I should go infrastructure list here and containers. So right now it has not come, just wait for a second. So let me start this one more time. Agent status, this is done.
Sir, I want
Yeah,
I want to know something. It is the same
yeah,
machine you install Docker and the Datadog. It is the same machine.
yes. So basically you have to install in the same machine, because remember this is the agent and this could be Docker. So if you do not have in the same machine, so agent cannot ask the Docker in this case. So I'm just waiting. Yeah, you see that one container has come so far. Within a few seconds, you get another container also. So now let me see the matrix we got it or not for the Docker. So here Docker, still I cannot see, just wait for a few seconds. Docker still has not come, so just wait for a second. It should be coming. It takes some time. Yeah, so it started coming now. Docker. So this is the way you can integrate with Docker. Now one more integration I would like to show you, and that is called Apache. So yum install HTTP. I'm installing the Apache. basically this documents I'm following, which is this one. Okay, so I installed the Apache. Now mirror got perfectly fine because you see that installation is happening. So mirror issues whenever it comes for a few minutes. Okay, then after that so I install the Apache. After that I'm going to install integration Apache. So same process I need to follow. Come to here and I say Apache, and here install and install integrations. Now here these configurations you have to do that. Okay, so you have to read this. These all are Apache related configurations. So install the agent. I did this. Mod status, extended status. Here and these are the things. So right now I will do this. So I install the Apache systemctl start http. This is also done. Let me see the status. It's running. So this is also done. Apache server agent installed. Now I have to do this one. So for this, you know what? You have to follow this process, and which is this one. Okay, so this is Apache related things. So here you have to modify this file and put inside this. And this is the stuff. So you have to introduce this code and IP address. I'm looking for it. This is the one. This is the things. I'm modifying this file.
But will Datadog know what is 192.168?
This is the IP address. From that mod status will be allowed to access that. So same IP address, same machine IP address. This is all. So I'll just go for this area where we have. And copy this whole things. This is basically to enable the module in Apache and save it. Module is enabled. Now you have to restart this. Done. And done. This is done. So now can we check the whether at this address that matrix is being published or not? 192.168.1.2. Enter. This is the Apache server. Okay, firewall I think is enabled. So systemctl stop firewall D, disable firewall D, and this URL. So see all Apache matrix is there. So as per the discussion, remember that I enable the Apache. So Apache is publishing all the metrics at certain endpoint. Correct? This is the endpoint. Agree with me?
Yeah.
Now I will ask agent. I will ask agent to go and pick it up from that endpoint. So for that agent modification, I told you how to do that. So go to this directory, and here you will have a Apache, and this is commented actually. So cp to YAML, and here conf.yaml, and here, and if I see that instances, see it's automatically is enabled localhost, because I install the Apache in the same machines, automatically is enabled. If it is in different machines of Apache, you can change this IP address. This is the same IP address, this is the same URL. See here, service status. So it's enabled, let it be as it is, and finally restart the Apache. So this is done, and restart the Datadog, sorry, Datadog, done. And done. And here click on that bottom, go to the bottom section. It's already installed now, and done. Refresh, and here installed. Okay, so now I'll create some traffic, fake traffic. So matrix will be sent, created. Now I'll go to same list, matrix explorer. So first I'll go to infrastructure list and see the Apache icon has come up. So here you should get Apache icon after a few seconds. Still has not come, so just wait for it. You can also check using command line. Using command line, whether see this kind of stuff. You can see that. Let me check that it has come or not. Explore the Apache. Apache. See, no, it still has not come. Apache still has not come. So just wait for a few more seconds, and it should be here. And let me check the infrastructure list. So guys, overall, this is the way you have to do that. Okay, this is the way you have to do that. Each integrations which you have to enable it by calling certain method. So, and then you get a matrix. So we install the agent, Linux, Windows, enable the process monitoring, install the Docker, enable the monitoring of Docker, install the Apache, enable the monitoring of Apache, and this all is coming under the infra part, matrices part. Any questions, guys?
Just one question about the firewall. Usually, I mean, I've seen that you disable it for the purpose of the demo, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ideally, we wouldn't be doing it when we are implementing such things because disabling a firewall is not an option.
No,
So,
I did not disable the firewall because of remember that architecture. Agent is inside a machine, and Apache is also inside a machine. They can talk to the local host. Why I disabled the firewall? So I was not able to access this one. Where is that? Just
the endpoint.
192. Yeah, endpoint. I wanted to show you that this URL. I wanted to show you from outside, so I disabled the firewall.
So,
So if,
I mean, we could have fetched the logs directly without using the endpoint as well. Is that what you're
logs,
saying?
I'm not talking about the logs actually. Okay,
Okay.
what is your confusion? I'm talking about the matrices of Apache. So here, the theoretically,
This is
Apache, this is the agent and this is Apache. So Apache cannot ask, sorry, agent cannot ask Apache the matrix because it's not designed that way. Apache is a very old tool, and Datadog has come recently. So Apache is publishing all the matrices at certain endpoint. Agent is going and fetching all these matrices through the local host and then sending to the Datadog. Now, why I
okay.
disable the firewall? Because I wanted to show you this URL actually.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't really have to do that because those both are in same network. So,
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So basically, I think you'll have to enable the firewall and then have this exception either on the VM or outside to
Right.
have the agent push the metrics or whatever content to the Datadog server on the cloud, because the agent talks on a different port. I think that's what his question is.
Yeah. Okay, so you see that all the matrices has come. Now you can explore it and do that. Okay, so this is the infrastructure monitoring, guys. Now I'll teach you the logs monitoring also and trace also, and after that alerting and dashboard. Okay, so before that, let's have one break. Grab your tea, coffee, restroom, and personal call for 15 minutes, 1-5, and then we'll resume these sessions and this one. Okay,
Okay.
okay, guys.
Just a suggestion, Rajesh, usually for meetings, maybe you can not just disconnect but add a timer here in the screen. And because what happens is usually sometimes you get lost track of time. So if you see the timer on the screen, you will always know, okay, it's 15 minutes. So
Yeah, sure.
some
I know what is happening. This meeting, why I'm disconnecting, the reason is others your recordings will be too long, like you lose the interest. Many people have complained, like I feel very burdened to see the 3 hours, 4 hours recording and all. So that's why it's like you in this meeting, recordings will be smaller. That's the only purpose.
okay. I mean, that can be clipped